words define official truth. Truth survives deletion attempts. Accountability, the record in theaters now.
A prosecutor who spent years hunting the president just exploded on live television. Fani Willis walked into a Georgia Senate hearing expecting softballs, and what she got was a document dump, pointed questions about secret payments, and a confrontation so heated she started screaming at lawmakers. But that's not even the biggest story. While Willis was melting down in Atlanta, whispers out of Washington suggest something far more serious may be coming tonight. And if the rumors are true, everything changes. So here's what's at stake. You see, Fani Willis spent millions of taxpayer dollars prosecuting President Trump, millions. And when Georgia senators asked her to account for that money, specifically payments to special prosecutor Nathan Wade, the man she was romantically involved with, she refused. She deflected and she erupted. At one point, she shouted that the question was illegitimate. She told lawmakers the money spent couldn't have been enough. That's your money she's talking about. This isn't just about one prosecutor in Georgia. This is about whether elected officials can weaponize the justice system, refuse accountability, and then attack anyone who questions. If Willis walks away from this untouched, the message is clear. There are no consequences for political prosecutions. Meanwhile, of course, the stakes just went global. Tucker Carlson revealed that members of Congress were briefed yesterday that war may be coming and that President Trump could announce it at any minute. And as we wrap up 2025, it is a good time to slow down and reflect on the year. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that uncertainty isn't temporary. It's the world we live in now. Waiting for things to go back to normal isn't a plan, it's a gamble. And for over a decade, my friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves and the people they love by diversifying their wealth with gold and silver. You see, nobody knows what 2026 will bring, but one thing is for sure. In an uncertain world, real wealth isn't digital. It's physical, it's lasting, and it's yours. When you're sitting around the table this Christmas, surrounded by family, remember the best gift you can give is not under the tree, it's peace of mind. And that's what Noble Gold delivers, peace of mind, 1 ounce at a time. So before the year ends, take one smart step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com. Get your free wealth protection kit today. It's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. If you want one of these are going, the silver price right now is hot. It's over $60. If you call that number, 877-646-5347, they'll give you 10 of these if you qualify. So find out if you can. Now, let's get into this because it gets worse. Willis didn't just dodge questions about money. She repeated long debunked claims about January 6th, saying police officers died that day. Well, they didn't. The only person who lost their life on January 6th was Ashley Babbitt. Willis pushed the lie anyway. Senators also pressed her on alleged judge shopping, early grand jury leaks, and unexplained trips to the White House. Her own attorney called the investigation into her conduct a witch hunt. Sound familiar? And now there's this, as Willis stonewalls Georgia lawmakers. The entire nation may be hours away from learning whether American forces are headed into conflict abroad. The timing is either coincidence or convergence. This is Tucker Carlson with Judge Andrew Napolitano. This is going viral right now. We also have remarks from the president and Venezuela. So check this out.
Is Trump going to start a war in Venezuela?
I don't know. I don't know when this program airs, the one that we're on right now. This thing's maybe live.
We're live now, and then it'll be posted immediately. So now,
my sense is, I don't know the answer. I've certainly been on the phone a lot about it. I have no power. I'm a podcaster, but I'm very interested. And so here's what I know so far, which is that members of Congress were briefed yesterday that a war is coming, and it'll be announced in the address to the nation tonight at 9:00 by the president. Who knows, by the way, if that will actually happen? I don't know. And I never want to overstate what I know, which is pretty limited in general.
Now, we have the president himself. We're going to get to that. But this video, just in, the Venezuelan military is preparing for potential confrontation as President Nicolas Maduro expects clashes with the United States to begin tonight. Now, this is the AP. After 20 continuous days of announcements, I'll narrate what the threats, psychological war after 20 days of siege against the Venezuelan nation. Today we are stronger than yesterday, more prepared to defend the peace, sovereignty, and territorial integrity than yesterday. So this is news out of Caracas. Looks like a state channel with Maduro stepping up and getting ready for conflict with the United States. Now, the president did address what his remarks would be. It doesn't mean he's not going to state what's going to happen in Venezuela. My gut is that he's going to be talking about the economy, the great year we've had, and what we can look forward to in 2026. But here's the president's remarks on the tarmac.
Than ever before. Well, I think the message this evening is we inherited a mess, and we've done a great job, and we continue to, and our country is going to be stronger than ever before very soon. Well, I think the message...
So, yes, a message of a strong and hopeful future is what we all want to hear, but clearly it's possible he could sandwich in remarks about the escalation in Venezuela in that Oval Office address. Now, moving on to Fani Willis, Senator Colton Moore, he was one of the good guys down there that we covered when the Fani Willis escapade was taking place. He had this. He said, "Down goes Fani. Just got done with the Fani Willis testifying before Senate. Insane responses, dodging questions. Honored to have led the fight." Let's get his immediate reaction after the hearing, and we'll get into some of those remarks.
Hey everybody, it's State Senator Colton Moore. We're just walking out of corrupt Fani Willis's testimony before the Senate. You've been following along. We've been calling for this state Senate to investigate and defund Fani Willis. Well, now it's finally started. She showed up, and most of her answers revolved some kind of crazy race theory that she's come up with. We learned that her value politically has went up nearly $600 million, and she's keeping track of this throughout the entire time she was going after President Trump and the 18 others. What we learned today was absolutely astonishing, ridiculous, and now let's get to some accountability here in the Georgia State Senate. Thanks for keeping me in the fight. We'll be in touch.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
everybody, it's State.
That's what we're talking about. Accountability needs to happen. Disgraced Fani Willis repeats the lie that 5 police officers died on January 6th. Fact check, not 1 police officer died. The only life lost was Ashley Babbitt. However, 5 police officers mysteriously did something else following those events.
And here at all. Nothing about this building can bring back the 5 lives that were lost on January 6th, to include, I understand that 4 were people that were in the mob, but they didn't deserve to lose their lives. 1 is very personal to me because it was a police officer just trying to serve. And here goes another example of a good American, and this is not about parties as you all have tried to make it.
I love how she's just like, oh, January 6th, January 6th, January 6th. She's the one on the chopping block here. And she's trying to say how, oh, remember the lives that were lost. I do this for justice. Okay, Fani. Well, justice is coming for you. We have this. ALX writes, Fani Willis is the perfect running mate for Jasmine Crockett in 2028. Oh, boy.
Trust you, I understand.
The date that I have is January 24th of 2022. Does that seem like it's within the range of being the correct date?
Sir, I already stated I don't trust you. I understand you're trying to run for lieutenant governor right now. Anything you want me to testify to, I'm going to need to see.
Okay. Were you aware that in between the time of the special grand jury being sworn in and receiving evidence, Mr. Wade traveled to Athens, Georgia to meet with officials from the White House counsel's office?
I don't recall.
On the right-hand side here is the meeting that I reference. Highlighted section reads, travel to Athens.
Dude, she is so guilty. Her attitude, oh, man, it is just...
With White
How
House
does this
counsel.
assist you in developing laws for Georgia? Because I believe the purpose that I'm here for is because you all need assistance in doing your job, and you want assistance with rules and regulations around how people should be a prosecutor. And it made sense to me that you'd come to the best prosecutor in the state to ask for some advice. But I'm confused as to how this assists you and what the purpose of me being here is.
The committee has a broad purpose. I'd be happy to refer to counsel as to the overall purpose of the committee. But my question for you is, as it relates
I
to
don't
this
think it's
travel.
relevant, so I'm objecting on relevance.
She's told you that the TUI process goes through the White House counsel's office. She's asking, it's been asked and answered.
His mic's
And
not
it's
on. We can't hear him, but there's more. There's more, my friends. Defiant Fani Willis, obsessed with media fame and dollar value of publicity while stonewalling on the millions spent in failed Trump witch hunt. I mean, dude.
The time that the letter was sent. The letter I just referenced to the governor, the AG, and the secretary. Mr. DeSantis's email states that the analytics graph is attached as PDF. The previous one I sent was for, quote, Fulton County District Attorney. This one is for, quote, Fani Willis. We are getting more coverage via your name than by title. This graph has the coverage value for the last week at over $150 million. That's obviously high, but even adjusting downward, it's still a huge number. And then what's highlighted in red here is part of the critical mention report that mentions mentions, which I'm going to just assume how often the search, which I think that he said this one is for your first and last name, what the audience was, which was approximately 6.3 million people, and then publicity value, which I think is what Mr. DeSantis is referencing when he references coverage value at $150 million. Do you recall seeing this report?
I don't.
Do you recall critical mention being used at all within your office to track the value of media as it related to the coverage of the election interference case? She told me she doesn't recognize this chart. I'm asking generally if this report. I'm asking if you've seen any report.
I don't know that I've seen any report, but I have definitely I've definitely heard Mr. DeSantis say, that these numbers are always inflated. So, yes.
Yeah, she loved the fame and the attention. She was the big celebrity. Santa Trump writes, Fani Willis is an arrogant bitch. Let's find out why, shall we?
To his involvement. I believe Mr. Wade said under testimony that he was a part of over 90% of these meetings or decisions. Do you recall that being an approximate accurate statement as to his involvement?
I can't speak to any other person's testimony, so I'm not going to ever comment on someone's testimony. If he testified to such, you're going to need to show it to me. You'll have to forgive me. I don't really trust you. So I'll have to see that particular testimony.
Do you recall Mr. Wade being...
Wait just a minute. She's got a right to finish her answer. You don't have a right to cut her off.
That's incorrect, Governor. Thank you.
Sir. It is not.
I'll be completing answers, sir. So
sure.
We should get that straight from the...
Was Mr. Wade... I believe Mr. Wade said under testimony...
Dude, and the fireworks. Here we have a report from when we initially covered it. Here's Angie unpacking Fani Willis campaign fund controversy.
No small matter. Tonight on Looking at You, we zero in on Fani Willis, a figure who's come under scrutiny for her handling of campaign funds. Let's cut straight to the chase. Campaign finance is no small matter. It's the bedrock of trust and transparency in our republic's electoral process. The rules are clear. Converting campaign funds to personal use isn't just frowned upon, it's prohibited. There is a fine line in the sand drawn by what's known as the irrespective test, a guideline to keep campaign and personal expenses separate and transparent. Now, Willis's own words have cast a shadow over her actions, admitting to taking a large amount of money from her first campaign and keeping some of the cash opens a Pandora's box of ethical and legal questions. This isn't about nickel and a dime. It's about the principle and the law. Take a look.
Whole life, when I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you I just have cash in my house, I don't have as much.
Why does it matter to you, the American people? Because every dollar misused in the campaign is a breach of trust, a chip away at the integrity of our electoral system. It's about ensuring that those who seek to represent us, who wield power in our republic, are held to the highest standards of honesty and accountability. In a time when faith in our institutions is teetering, transparency isn't just expected, it's demanded. As this story unfolds, remember, it's not just about the misuse of funds. It's a test for the health of our republic, a question of whether those in power can be trusted to follow the same rules they are sworn to uphold. Stay tuned as we continue to hold the powerful accountable, reminding them that they serve the public, not their personal interests. This is Looking at You, where we keep an eye on those shaping our republic's future, because how they handle the small things speaks volumes about how they handle the big ones.
Yes, we've been tracking Fani Willis. Well done, Angie, on that report. We've been tracking it for a long time. Fani Willis getting pressed hard about her relationship with Nathan Wade. She's doing everything possible to avoid a straight answer. She looks rattled, clearly worried about saying the wrong thing as questions swirl around the Georgia case against Trump. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis struck a defiant tone in early questioning before the Georgia Senate Committee at the Capitol on Wednesday. Here she is erupting over payments to Nathan Wade.
Asking me to look at documents.
Screen.
I don't review those documents, so you're asking me to look at documents that I haven't for the first time. What I can tell you is that I only allowed Mr. Wade to bill 160 hours a week, and then Mr. Wade would be the first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that 8:30 meant 8:30. He taught them that 8:30 means 7:45. He got there before them. He left after him. He taught them how to do this case, and he was a leader to that team and a public servant. And for that, him like me has been threatened thousands of times. You want something to investigate as a legislature? Investigate how many times they've called me the N-word. Why don't you investigate that? Why don't you investigate them writing on my house? Why don't you investigate the fact that my house has been swatted? If you want something to do with your time that makes sense, and you can use all this in your campaign ad, you attacked Fani Willis. What have you done, sir? Nothing.
So I'm going to refer you to the screen. I know you said you don't approve.
I didn't even hear anything you said, lady. I'm going to refer you back to the point at hand.
I've never seen it, so I can't talk to you about documents I don't approve and don't review. Can't talk to you about it.
Who does approve the documents in your office when invoices come in?
I thought we'd been through this.
I don't believe you said who reviews the invoices and approves the invoices in your office.
First of all, I have no first-hand knowledge of it.
You have no first-hand knowledge.
You want me to testify about something I don't have any first-hand knowledge of?
I'm asking you screen.
Oh, man, it just gets worse and worse and worse. The more she opens her mouth, the more she puts her foot right in it. Senate Committee on investigations to hear testimony from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Yeah, here's the official meeting notice and agenda. Fani Willis' political charade is over for everyone but taxpayers who are on the hook for millions of dollars wasted. Burt Jones posting this.
Georgia taxpayers just paid the price for a witch hunt that should have never happened. Fani Willis started this charade and targeted innocent lives and drug our state through the mud. And while liberal media kept fueling outrage with false stories, our Attorney General Chris Carr and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger stayed silent. They sat on their hands and refused to act. Real leaders stand up to corruption. Had that happened here, Fani Willis would not have been able to stick millions of dollars of costs to Georgia families. Georgians deserve leaders who won't play political games and will stand up to witch hunts, and they'll fight for you.
Burt Jones for governor. He's launching his campaign, going right after Fani Willis. Let's go. We got this. This is more from Colton Moore on a hit with Real America's Voice. Check this out.
Those answers, and so the case against President Trump has now officially been dropped, but obviously there are still questions that need to be answered relative to Fani Willis. Are you expecting that we will get those answers and that there will be some real accountability?
No.
Finally, Terrence, I mean, we've been coming on this show now for years trying to hold Fani Willis accountable, and this is going to be the best news on your show for all of your viewers. Fani Willis finally going to be at the hot seat. We don't know if the Democrats are going to show up or not, but we're still going to have quorum even with the Republicans there. We've got to get back to the original questions, Terrence. Why did the grand jury not conclude and the indictment was already released? Was Fani Willis judge shopping with Judge McAfee? Probably so. I hope that question's asked. I want to know about Nathan Wade. I want to know about all those trips that she took to the White House. we've got an opportunity finally, Terrence, to get these questions asked. And I think when Fani Willis starts talking, she's not going to stop talking. And she's done everything she can, including hiring her attorney, former Governor Roy Barnes. It's finally time. She's taking the hot seat.
And she definitely didn't survive that hot seat very well. Willis's counsel calling this a witch hunt.
Not take
I did
rape
not ask
kids.
you for advice on what the legislature
You
should
asked
do. And we will get to that time.
You answer the question. She has a right to answer.
And if she would answer the question, Governor, I would not be saying it. She's pontificating on everything from rape kits, which was what she was about to get into. The question was the amount of money that came from state funds and county funds. And if she doesn't know the answer to that question, the answer is I don't know. The question isn't let me talk. The answer isn't let me talk about rape kits. So I'll get back to the line of questioning. I'm going to give you latitude here, Madam DA, but the same way in a courtroom, there are guardrails as to what we need to stay in and within. Indeed, Governor, and this is not a courtroom.
Rulings, and you don't have the power.
I have plenary power, Governor, to conduct the meeting.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Point
at it. I know you think you do, and that you're above the law, but you are not. If you want to cite her for contempt,
Governor,
she is entitled to a jury trial, and I can examine you on your actions, and I can examine you on your motive. Then I will be glad to take that. As Clint Eastwood said, "Take my day."
We know the motives. He's on the ballot.
Governor.
Oh
this
my goodness.
This is a witch hunt.
This is a hearing of the Senate Special Committee on Investigations.
You're not worried about those that you convicted illegally and locked up.
This guy, former governor, hired as the attorney, calling it a witch hunt. Dude, you can't make this stuff up. So let me just be very clear about what just happened. A district attorney who launched one of the most aggressive prosecutions of a sitting president, a former president in American history, screamed at state lawmakers, refused to explain where millions of dollars went, repeated proven lies about January 6th, and dismissed the entire hearing as illegitimate. Her mask didn't slip, it shattered. And tonight, as the nation waits to hear whether President Trump will address potential military action abroad, the institutions that spent years trying to destroy him are crumbling in real time. Now, this matters because Fani Willis isn't just some rogue prosecutor in Georgia. She is a symbol of everything broken in the American justice system. She used taxpayer money to pursue a political vendetta. She hired her boyfriend and paid him personally. And when asked to explain herself, she attacked the people asking questions. That's not accountability, that's arrogance. It's exactly why trust in our institutions has collapsed. Meanwhile, the rumors circulating in Washington tonight turn out to be true. We are looking at a collision of crises unlike anything we've ever seen. A judicial system imploding at home while the military prepares abroad. The American people deserve answers from Willis, from Washington, and from everyone who spent years telling us the system was working just fine. So here's my question. Should Fani Willis face criminal charges for her conduct? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments and make sure you check out the Next News merch shop. You'll find it linked in the description.